All right, we will get started
Uh,
in one moment.
1 minute. Sorry, guys. 1 minute. Snoop Doggy
All right,
Dogg.
we will get started right now. Let me go ahead and record. What is going on, everybody? We had an amazing week, first week, had a couple bangers, absolutely
Oof.
destroyed the first week of the trading year. Look to do it again this week. But as always, we're going to keep to the same rules, right? We're not going to oversize. We're going to stay patient, wait for
Mm,
the trades to come at us.
mm,
One trade a day is
mm.
all it takes. That's really all it
Absolutely.
takes, guys. I'm your host, Mr. Banks, along with No Risk, No Premium. This is the Sunday Watch where we go over earnings for the week, economic data for the week, and what we're watching for the week. So you guys can get prepared because, as you know, Sundays are the days that traders get prepared. It's not on Monday, it is on the weekend. So you already know.
Yep.
Coming to the week ready.
Absolutely. Guys, what is up? What is happening? It is no risk, no a premium. We did kill it last week, guys. We have new rules for this week. Not rules, not new rules. We're adhering to our rules a little bit more strict, guys. We're gonna do less and make more all 2024. Oh my god. Shh.
Damn, trademark.
Mic drop, dude. We're gonna do less and make more all 2024. What up? What up? What up? All right. Anyway, chicka chicka. Okay. So look, but in all seriousness, guys, that's it, guys. We're gonna do less, make more, and we're gonna follow our trade plan. We're not gonna, we're not gonna do or give back anything. We're not gonna practice any bad habits. We're gonna be strict. Follow your game plan. No setup, no trade. All those types of things. Right. Started had a great week last week even with the market pulling back, right? Market pulling back, and we're still seeming to find those trade setups that are yielding great percentage returns so far. But that leads us on to the next question here. Where do we go from here? I don't know. Nobody knows. We'll have to see where we open up tomorrow. But what I can tell you is for sure is that's not what I'm is the data coming out this week that we got to pay attention to. Monday through Wednesday, not really much coming out. A little bit of a nothing burger. Obviously, consumer credit comes out later in the day on Monday. No pre-market data. Expect some choppiness on the open tomorrow. Tuesday, trade deficit comes out 8:30. That's 1 hour before the market open. Now, I don't believe the trade deficit is going to make or break the market by any stretch of the imagination, but well, if it comes out, we'll have to pay attention to it. On Wednesday, you can see wholesale inventories 10 a.m. So that's data 30 minutes into the market open. No pre-market data there. We do have one knucklehead that comes on 45 minutes before the market closes. So listen to this idiot go out and say something that doesn't matter at all. And then Thursday, normal jobless claims. Remember, the jobless claims every Thursday comes out 1 hour before the market open. Then we have CPI on Thursday. That's a big one. CPI Thursday, PPI Friday. Those are going to be two big ones. Why are those two big ones? Well, what does the Fed pay attention to when it wants to assess its toolbox or whatever terminology they use? Anything that is price related, anything that is jobs related, right? So price data, CPI, consumer price index, how much does shit cost for us? That's for us, the consumer. That's on Thursday, as well as the initial jobless claim. So that's going to be big data on Thursday, right? Right at 8:30, we're going to need to be paying attention, be at your computer early. At 8:45, we get on for the pre-market huddle. We'll assess how things are looking from there. But then on to Friday, same thing. We have another PPI. That's the producer side. How much does it cost the producers, the businesses to do business, right? So typically, if you see an uptick in CPI, you likely are going to see an uptick in PPI or the latter. Okay, vice versa. A downtick in CPI means typically if it costs less for a business to do business, the costs usually don't go up for the consumer. They'll stay even or go down. Granted, there are some shady and greedy businesses out there that if their costs go down, they'll put their prices up, right? You can't control that. Capitalism at its finest. Nonetheless, though, in a perfect economic, theoretic market, if it costs less for a company to do business, it'll be cost less for consumers to do business with them. Okay. Anyway, that's all we've got on the U.S. For the economic data. That's what we have to pay attention to. We'll go and click on the earnings just here real quickly, just to see. I don't believe for this week coming out there's going to be any big blue chip, but we are going to have some Q4 earnings coming up now that we are in Q1. JP Morgan Chase. I could see this is a bank stock, right? We watch XLF. if we're going to be trading SPY or ES. Okay. So I think watching the big banks will be interesting. We got Wells on the 12th. We got JP Morgan on the 12th, Bank of America probably on the 12th. They usually keep all of those
Yep.
together. The
Citigroup on the 12th as well.
City Group, yep. So that's
Um,
a Friday. They
yeah,
usually come out Friday in the morning.
before open. Yeah.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs. Oh, Goldman Sachs, yeah, before they open. Goldman Sachs on the 16th. So that'll be following Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Guys, Friday, Monday the 15th. We do have it off. So just mark your calendars there. We do have it off. We will not be trading that day because you physically cannot trade that day. Unless the crypto market is open, but have fun with that. BlackRock on Friday as well. So lots of big data coming out, or excuse me, lots of big earnings coming out for the banks this week. PepsiCo, not until February. You guys could see United Health on Friday as well. Delta, interesting. Tilray on January 9th.
Be interesting.
Tuesday. But other than that, we're going to start watching the earnings whisper calendar a little bit more closer now, because we're going to be seeing those Q4 earnings start to pop up in the coming weeks and months. So just know that basically Friday is going to be a big day. Thursday PPI jobless, Thursday CPI jobless, Friday PPI, and then we also have all of the bank data coming out on that day. All right, now on to the charts. Where do we go? I don't know. Where do we go?
Actually, I have a question.
Yes.
Why is that bank data important to say so SPY?
Ooh. Are you asking me or asking everybody?
Either or.
Either or. Well, I think there's two reasons. First reason, I'll answer for everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
First reason, banks. So, guys, how do the banks make money? Right, lending. Right, perfect. Yes, lending. How are interest rates right now? If they make money off it, if rates are lower, people are spending more because they're borrowing more. They're probably making more money. If rates are higher, there's still people spending, but they're not maybe making as much. There's not as much mortgages going out. It's not as much big line of credits going out to people of how they make money. They only make money when they create money. They have to create money. They have to print new money. That's how they make money. Now they make it off of those little fees and shit that they charge you, but that's like pennies, right? That's pennies compared to what they make off of interest, lines of credit, mortgages, etc. So if rates go down and if they can foresee, right, we want to see what they are going to foresee, because they see deposits coming in, they see people that are laying off, they see it all because they see transactions every single day. Okay. So they can see spending habits, they can see credit card debt, they can see all that kind of stuff. So they can plan for the quarters ahead. They can give their projections, right? So if we can understand, if the banks are saying we're super optimistic, then they're probably optimistic that there's a good outlook on the economy because currently things are good. But if things are bad, they'll report bad numbers. They'll be pessimistic on the future. Also, why are banks important? Secondly, because XLF is the third most weighted sector of the S&P 500. And kind of like Apple and Microsoft, when we watch tech names, XLF has a big influence on where SPY goes as well, intraday, right? Intraday. So how'd I do, Justin? One of those two reasons
that was perfect. Yep. Okay. Want to go over the XLF ETF and
perfect.
Yep. Yeah. Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America,
all the big boys. BlackRock,
are all top 10 holdings of XLF, and XLF heavily weighted into SPY. So
yep, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, all of them.
Yeah, so, BlackRock is
yep. And it's always good to know what the banks are thinking and doing and seeing, etc. Right? So, XLF was on a tear. Is this a sell the news on this earnings? I don't know. We'll see. Well, we won't know until Friday, right? We will not know until Friday, and I'd say the majority of those are in the morning. I probably do the.
They're all Friday morning. Yeah,
they're all Friday morning before. Yep. Yeah, you can see it.
Open.
There's nothing after close. They're all gonna be before open. Anyway, I don't even know how to get back to that, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so onto the charts now. Onto the charts. ES had a fucking day on Friday. I mean, went down to 47.02.03, ran back to 47.60. That's a 60-point move, right? Like, we could see this candle. We had nice drawdown or drawback or pullback, whatever. Went right to where? The Powell pump. We were talking about this 4,700 level a lot. Went down there in the pre-market and bounced very nicely. And we got a true, what looks like to me is a doji candle with some volume showing indecisiveness. I wouldn't call this a reversal. I would say indecisiveness. You have what seems like pretty equal buyers to pretty equal sellers for the day. Could we continue lower? Absolutely. Could we continue higher? Absolutely. We don't know. We'll have to see where we open. We have no data tomorrow, so nothing I think is going to move the market in pre-market, which can cause for an open that could be rather stale or have some delaying before a true buyer or seller appears, right? So let's go down to the 4 hour though, right? Well, it's the weekly. The weekly is interesting because it wasn't a big sell week, right? It didn't have a lot of sell volume. It looks like it definitely just pulling back with a little wick to the downside. But the 4 hour, we could see if we can zoom it out just a tad. Zoom it out just a tad here. There we go. Look at this perfect hammer candle, right? Nice hammer candle into where? We had 46.95 to 4,700. We hit 47.02. Shoot me. Shoot me. You should have longed when you saw, right? You should have longed when you saw this candle appear. This nice, very much wick down. And we got this move higher. So for this week coming up, there's only going to be two big levels that I'm really going to watch. It's going to be this retest of 4,700 and then the retest of the contract roll gap that you can see here, 46.50, 46.50 to about 46.60. This little zone in here, every time we have a contract roll gap, there's usually the first touch of it is a bounce. And it dips a little below it, and it gets everyone caught off sides, and then it rips it back up, kind of like they tried to do down here at 4,700. Okay, so that's what I'll be watching. Overnight and into the morning, 4,700. That's the area I'm going to watch. We really need a 4 hour close over this 47.40. Remember how important this level is. Dip down, hold, dip down, hold, dip down, hold, dip down, hold, then finally break through. Is this the retest? Sure. So this will be kind of like our pivot for the week. 47.40. A close above there on the 4 hour or daily would tell me a possible break of structure, and we could see a move back up to 47.85, 4,800 from there. If not, though, and we reject this area 47.40 to 47.50 overnight, can watch this move back down to 46.95, where I would definitely look for the bounce, but I think the more high probability bounce would be waiting for the contract roll area at 46.50, right? So keep it. It's very easy. 47.40, 4,700, 46.50. Mark them down, tattoo them on your hand. I don't care what you do. Write them down, get to know them, get to love them. On to the SPY chart here. Where did we say we wanted the Powell bounce, right? This was the last FOMC meeting with Powell. We went Ripper Magoo. How are you? We had that nice 4 hour, right? It's 4 hour chart here. Very nice 4 hour wick down, hammer candle, doji, whatever you want to call it. It happened. It came. It went right to 464.50. I mean, to the button. Right? Kissed it right on the mouth, right there, ripped up. So now we got 468. Think of 468 as like 47.40 kind of, right? On ES. It's going to be that same pivot. We had a dip into it, hold. We had a dip into it, hold. We had a dip into a hold. Then we finally broke through. Was this our retest of this area? Wicks to the upside, right? So whether we open above it, great. Look for dips back into it to hold. Whoa. Dips back into the hole, look for a 473 test. If we open below it, look for a wick above it, fail, and look for a move back down to 464.50. I favor under that level. You can watch 462, but I like 460 better. 460 I like better. Even just a little bit lower, you can look at 458. So 458 to 460, you should put something like this right on. Oh, there you go. Got it. Sorry. I'm going to put like this on SPY. This is going to be a whole range in here I'm going to look for. Why? Because you got multiple rips up into this area and then we held. So we could bounce as soon as 460. You could bounce as soon as 450 or, 458. Those are going to be the levels that I'm watching going into this week. So 468, think about that. That's the pivot. Open above it. Look for dips into that to hold, showing buyers are there and aware and going to take us back up to 473. Look for the reject at 473. Okay, open below, look for the rip into 468 to fail. 464.50 bounce, 462, 460 high probability. That'd be like 46.50 on ES. It's like the beginning of that gap on the contract roll. I would think that these levels 460, 460.50 on ES. Those would be similar. I watch for the 460 bounce. On to QQQ. On to QQQ. I'm going to go to the daily chart because it looks a little cleaner here. We can see not as clean as SPY and ES, but we can see this 395 area is serving pretty well, right? We do have, Doji-esque type candle. We had buyers, we had sellers. We We had a side-by-side candle, right? Are we kind of running out a little bit of steam on the sell side? We had decreasing volume into some increasing volume, but not a lot of buy volume, right? On the Qs. It was more on SPY and ES. You saw a little bit more buying pressure. So this 395 area, though, you guys could see it. This is zoomed in a little much for me. Sorry. 395, you can see this area. I'm going to zoom in now. Okay, I like this a little better. 395, you can see we have rips up into this zone, and then we had a rip higher, and then we had the bottom of this wick right here at 394.50. So this zone, 394.50 to 395, I'm going to be watching that. If that holds, great. 400, a reclaim above 400, a daily or 4-hour close above 400, that's a break of structure. I would think 403, 406, 408 has a small little gap to fill too. The upside, you can see that retrace from there. You can watch for the gap fill reject, right? That's what I'd be watching. There's a little gap fill here on the daily. 406 to 408. I'd be looking for that gap fill possible reject, but you got to get a close above 400 first. If not, you could watch for 400 to have a reject in the zone 399 to 400. Reject continue lower, and you would think 387 could come. 50-day moving average is all the way down to 386 for now. But if it's going to put in a bounce, let's see, beginning of the week here, 395, 395, 395, 395, 395. If that holds, we get long. If we break underneath it, look for the short trade down to about 388. From there, guys, the last, but certainly not least, is IWM, Russell 2000. For me here. So I'm watching this Russell 2000. We filled the gap. You guys can see this gap. We finally filled it. We had this move back down to about 192 almost, right? But for me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't like this one. I think we're kind of in almost like a no man's land zone. I think we could possibly build out this little bear flag into about 196 again. I like, zooming out, looking left, this old little balance zone that we have over here, right? I like this area for a bounce, right? I like this 188. That's my high probability bounce zone. So I do think we could get a bounce if we stay above 193.50. You guys could see here, have some wicks into this area, right? Have some wicks into this area, right? If we open above, look for the dips into that. Great. 196 could be your target from there. Above 196, definitely think we get this gap fill back to about 198. I'm watch the gap fill reject from there, okay? Because we are on a downtrend, short-term downtrend. But watch if we open up below 193.50, look for a dip or, a rip into that. If it fails, okay, 192, I think 188 to 189. You can look at the top of this wick is about 189, but I really think this 188 zone, I'm a high probability bounce. I'd be looking for calls down there, possibly even a swing by a week out or so on IWM. Contracts are very affordable here on IWM. Okay, but I'm going to zoom out a little bit, give you the levels again. Guys could see this whole balance zone 188. That's my high confidence long. But if we hold above 193.50, you can't look for the long trade back to 196. 198 is the gap fill. Look for the rejected there. If for some reason we get long and strong over 200, I think rips this thing back on up to about 205, 208 from there. That's if we get up there. Justin, I'm going to give one more. I talked to you about it. You might have it on yours. I just want to just give this weekly chart here. If and when NVIDIA is ready to go, a close above 500. Above 500 to 505 really gets this thing ignited. So keep NVIDIA 505, 500 to 505. Keep that on your watch. We are showing TTM is ready to go. Following this nice trend, 821, right? 821 EMA is trending to the upside. Buyers needed to step in when they needed to here. They definitely did put this nice wick down with a little bit of volume. Let's see. Got to get through 500, or this is just distribution and it's going to trap everybody up here and rip to the downside. 300 would be my target to the downside. If so, guys, I just want to give that quick little spew to you on NVIDIA because we've been watching it for a while. Justin, if it's on your watch, I'm sorry. You can go more in depth on it still if you like.
Dare you?
I know you're fired. Guys, that's it. That's all I got for you today. Justin.
But wait, I have some for you. So stay
Justin has something for you. Everyone stay on.
Let's go for, let me share my screen with you guys. First one is going to be Apple.
Apple Snapple, 200 day.
On
like
our list. Last week we traded it a little bit. 200 MAs right here at 180. The 200 EMA is about 178. So we have the both pretty much in conjunction of the 200 simple moving average and the 200 exponential moving average at the same spot, essentially. Oops. We also have the POC line. You guys see that POC line on the daily as well, right at that 200. So we have a lot of confluences within this area. The only thing I don't like necessarily is the selling that is occurring, right? We're having a lot of selling. And everyone's looking at this 200. So as an MM personally, I would just drop this below the 200 because I know all retail is going to be taking this bounce to 200, but we can get the bounce. So a couple of different things to be looking at Apple this week. You just got to keep an open mind, right? Always have to keep an open mind no matter what when you're trading. The easy layup is, yeah, we come down to the 200, both these 200s, 180 down to 178. It holds, we bounce right back up. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Everyone sees that, right? Another thing that we need to look for is we come down below this 200. That's why this 200 EMA and POC line at 178 is very important, because we come down below 180, we bounce at 178, and then we bounce back up, or we drop below, retest the 200, and then we drop even lower. So this week, we'll just be looking at levels, right? We'll be looking at levels. The things I will be looking at is obviously that 180 to 178 bounce first, right? That's the easy layup. It's right there, right in our face, taking that 200 bounce off of that 180, 178 on that daily demand. Next, I'll be watching below 178. Now, below 178, I'll be taking a move back in. Let me get this a little bit for you. Take a move back into about 176 here, below 178 into 176. But below 176, I think all this easily, we have a huge move back down to 170. So if we get below this 176 level, I think we have nothing but room down in 170. In fact, I know we have nothing but room down in 170. It just depends on where it's going to bounce. Is it going to bounce at 175, 172.50, 170? Who knows? But we do have nothing but room down at 170, below 176 on this 4-hour time frame. So again, I'll be watching this 180, 178 bounce first. Below 178, we can look to get short into 176. Below 176, we can look to try to get short into 170. Now we are super oversold on the daily, below 30. Typically, Apple produces I think it's like 3 to 8% gains within a first couple of weeks once we get below that 30 RSI. So if we want history to repeat itself, this is a bounce zone in Apple, and we do get some nice returns following this low of RSI on the daily on Apple. So again, 180, 178, looking for that bounce first. Below 178, can look to short to 176, below 176 into 170. Now I am watching the upside just in case, say we just hold this 181 and 180 level and we miss that bounce. Well, I would look to get over 184. 184, I would look to get long back into about 186, 188, and then back into that 190 to 193 level here at the top to fill this nice little imbalance. So over 184 though, 184, I will be watching for that break and hold to the upside to get long back into about 186, 180, and then 193 ultimately. So long-winded, but I just want you guys to always keep an open mind on Apple, because yes, that 200 MA, it's right in our face. I mean, we all see it, looking for that bounce. We could get it, or we could drop lower, right? It could be either or. So just always keep an open mind. We do have a lot of selling occurring though into this level. So it is being supported. This sell is being supported. So just know that. Okay, next one is going to be Square. I'm liking Square here back into this demand. Not too much selling, right? We do kind of have a little bit of increase in selling on this pullback, but not too much, right? It's relatively low it's relatively average compared to what we've been having, right? The average that we've been having on this uptrend and now on this little downtrend. Looking for a pullback into 65. I'll be watching 65 to hold first right into this demand. It essentially would be a breakout and retest. Good job. You guys know that. That's what stocks do. Breakout and retest right here at the 65 level. And again, we do have the 200s playing in part, as well as this big volume shelf here into the 63 level. So watching it bounce into 65 first, below 65 into 63. But if we do get below 63, are we looking to get short into about 60 and then 58 down here? That is what I'll be watching on Square. Next on the list, I will be watching Meta. Meta, some crazy relative strength last week that we saw compared to the market, right? I mean, huge bounce that we saw on Meta. Looking for the upside. Now we do have an order block here at this very top at around 355. So we'll be watching for possible reject here back down to the downside. But we do get a break and hold over this 355. We have nothing but room back into about 358, 360 level right here. So watching for a break and hold over this 355 to get long into about 360, or I'm watching for this nice little OB for a push back down. Essentially, this is the supply. Order blocks are just supply, same thing. Just supply right here for that nice reject back down to the downside, or break and hold over 355 to get long. I'm also watching for a pullback here into about 348, 347 into this demand right here. Watching for that pullback and then hold for a nice push back up there. A couple different avenues there on Meta. And that is all I got for this week. Actually, I do have a BA. We had a nice little bounce here into this demand, little double bottom push here. Let's go to the daily here for a second. Now, I did have this kind of low volume pullback here and a low volume push as well. So this week, you can take this 251 break and hold to the upside to get long into about 252. Over 252, nothing but room into about 258, 260. You guys can see this is a textbook, right? We have this nice little resistance. We broke out and now we're retesting that resistance. Really, really textbook. We do have some nice buy volume though going on here. So let's see if this holds, if we can take that breakout here back to the upside, or if we're just going to kind of range out here. But I think if we do break out of the range to the upside, we could get some nice movement up. And again, if we do break out to the downside, it'd be below 243. We could get some nice movement to the downside. So that's also what I'll be watching for this week, along with NVIDIA, which
Yes.
we've already gone over.
Yes, yes, guys. Well, Justin, real quick, I don't know if you saw the news, but there was a fucking
There was,
that
yes.
they said the thing ripped off the plane,
Yeah.
the thing. So I will say this: I would not be surprised if we see a big gap down on Monday
Mhm.
and some selling pressure right at the open, only to get everybody short to
And
pop this
bounces.
thing back higher. So don't be surprised if you wake up Monday or whatever, and what do we have, 248, and Boeing's at 238 or something, whatever. I'm just making numbers up, but you know what I'm saying. If it's
Yeah.
down a lot, don't worry, right? Just have your levels set, okay, and just wait to see what happens on there. Because usually when news like this, is it over? Is there going to be overreaction? I don't know. Did anyone die? I don't think so. I think the door just ripped off and they landed,
Yeah,
but
no one died.
Boeing made the plane for the Alaska Airlines. So who gets in trouble? There you go. Um, just really quickly, because somebody just
Yeah.
brought up in the chat. Can you put on Disney real quick? Because the Disney weekly chart looks really good.
Oh, yes. Yes. We're
Yeah.
still,
So
yeah,
we're still, I think this still is a bull flag. I think this bull flag
still
is
in play for sure.
100% still in play. Yeah, I like this. I like this area. We can see what's going to happen here. I do like anything that's into 88 or 89. Kind of what you've got listed there already. Yeah. I do think that there could, even as low as 85, but like 88 to 89, I do think there's a possible swing here, 100%.
I mean,
That's
we've
still,
had major buying here,
yeah,
and
still
then this is
viable,
the volume
100%.
pullback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I do like this
Here
little
go to
bull
the
flag that is
weekly.
playing out here.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
look like it's already drawn. Because guess what? The Wolves were already on it
Yep.
last week.
Yep. So there's that one. And then I think Zoom is the other one. We had it charted last week.
The thing about Zoom is, people, I mean, obviously we're still using it, but
We're
if
using
you
it.
guys take a look at Zoom here. I mean, we've been in consolidation
For so long.
for so
Yeah.
I mean, technically we could call this at the very top of it, but that's kind of 125. We'll just call from this drop down between what 89 or call it 90 down to the low about 56. It's just been consolidating here since
This is the weekly you got
August
right
of
here.
last week. Yeah,
This is
or
the weekly.
last year.
Yeah. So look at the sell volume on the last 2 weeks is very small on these last two weekly candles. Very small.
Right into that POC line of
Yep, very small. So from here down to about 64, I don't think it'd be the worst idea to possibly scale in a few contracts at a time, as long as we're holding, stop loss below the lows. But this to me looks like we could possibly be seeing a swing opportunity here. So I do like these two trades for possible swings
I
for
mean, look at
sure.
this. Look at this. I mean, we caught it. I mean, it's finally sold off here along with the rest of the market, of
Yeah.
course, right? Everything's been selling. But look at how massive these sell candles are here on the daily.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
look at how much it didn't move.
Yeah, I mean, like
Heavily.
all these sell volume and it's not really going
Sell
anywhere. Yeah,
is
I agree.
moving it up. Sell. So it looks like sellers are potentially starting to get exhausted at these
For
levels for
sure.
sure. And
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
been in this consolidation
I
for
agree.
over a year now,
I
since
think the
August of
yeah, I had
2022.
some April contracts I was looking at for. I'd have to go back and view them again. I'll get some more. I'll get some more stuff out to you guys tonight and start looking at more
Man, look at
contracts
this
again.
monthly.
But thank
It's
you for
just
bringing this up. Thank you for bringing up Zoom and Disney. Yeah, I do like both of these. I like Disney even better for a short term. I think Disney moves a little better than Zoom does. Zoom will be kind of like that. It'll kind of be like the Baba trade a little bit. We're gonna buy far out. It can start making its way up. It can have a day where it gaps up and it's good. But I think Disney will move a lot faster, and we could buy maybe the OPEX, January OPEX or February OPEX for Disney. I'm gonna look at some contracts again tonight
yeah,
to you
look at this.
guys. I'll update my charts, throw them in later on this evening.
Here's what's gonna happen.
But we just want to get this out to you guys.
There we go. That's my
Yeah, so we're gonna buy the 500
yeah,
calls
contract.
for Friday. Probably gonna be pretty cheap.
I'm just kidding, guys.
No, we're kidding, guys. Obviously kidding. But anyway, no, two good contracts. Thanks for bringing them up. Other than that, yeah, that's all I got. Justin, you want to take us out?
Again, this week, one trade at a time, size less. It's about building that foundation first. It's never about making money. If you can't execute a good trade, the money will never follow, right? So we have to put in place 1 or 2 contracts. We have to have our first profitable year. Starts with our first profitable week, first profitable month, first profitable half a year, and then first profitable year. Everyone wants to make hundreds and thousands of dollars. First couple of years, it's not the reality of things. Let's come back down to earth. Let's come to reality. Social media has brainwashed people. So let's just start small, right? Let's do things the right way. Now, in the end, 5, 10 years from now, can you make millions from trading? Absolutely. But those first couple of years, 2 to 5 years, are just going to be putting in work. $50 days are great. $10 days are great, especially in the beginning. And then you'll eventually get to $100 days, but it's going to take time. Size down, one trade at a time this week. Stay patient for the setup.
Yep, guys, focus on discipline, focus on practicing good habits. All right, guys, that's all we got. We'll
Cool,
see you guys bright and early.
sir. See ya.
Peace.